think you finna catch Lil Durk on Love and Hip Hop? You think you finna catch Chris Brown on there? You think you even finna catch Badazz on that motherfucker?
Boosie really tried to jump in and defend GloRilla and her messy family beef, right? He claimed he was just giving his 2 cents about how artists handle their money, but GloRilla's sister wasn't having none of it. She went live and straight up ended his reputation in real time.
Oh jeez, I'm saying though, y'all want the clout to die. Y'all gotta stop talking about me for it to...
She didn't just clap back, she flamed him, called him washed up, mocked him for doing low-budget Tubi movies, and dragged him for being a 60-year-old man dressing like he's 15. It went from a small family argument to a public takedown that had everybody watching. The way she exposed him, the internet's never letting him live this down. Now, let's rewind a bit, because this whole thing didn't just pop off overnight. There's a lot more behind the scenes than what people saw scrolling through their feeds. What really happened goes way deeper than those viral clips. So here's the full timeline, no sugarcoating.
I want to speak on something right quick. I ain't siding with GloRilla, I ain't siding with GloRilla, but I do want to say...
To understand how this blew up, we gotta roll back to early February 2026. GloRilla was at the top of her game. Grammy-nominated, chart-smashing hits, living it up like a true boss. The Memphis rapper had finally made it out the grind, or at least that's what everyone thought. She built her whole image around that came-from-nothing story. Growing up broke in Memphis, fighting through family struggles, and beating the odds to rise to the top. But on February 4th, 2026, everything flipped upside down when GloRilla's own blood turned on her and aired out their entire family drama for the world to see. Her sister, Victoria Woods, better known online as Scarface, hopped on Facebook Live with one clear goal: to expose her superstar sister for allegedly abandoning the very family she came from. Scarface didn't bite her tongue for a second. This wasn't no sneaky post or shady lyric. She went direct. She called GloRilla by her government name, Gloria, and dropped heavy accusations that had fans picking sides before the live even ended. And Scarface didn't come with no soft claims either. She aimed straight for the heart. She accused GloRilla of building her whole image off their family struggles, talking about growing up broke in Memphis and fighting through pain in every interview and song. Yet, behind the scenes, she supposedly wasn't helping nobody. According to Scarface, their mama is still clocking in at FedEx, working long shifts in a warehouse while her daughter's out here signing million-dollar deals and living lavish in designer everything. Just picture that for a second. Your sister's Grammy-nominated, performing at massive festivals, rocking luxury brands, getting big endorsement bags, and your mom's still busting her back on a factory floor. That's the kind of contradiction that makes people stop and question everything. But that's when things got real messy. Scarface dropped one last bomb that had everybody's jaw on the floor. She said GloRilla bought her dad a Jaguar just for show, even though, in her words, he's broke as hell and living in a house full of roaches. That line hit the internet like a nuke. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. She basically accused GloRilla of flexing for the gram, showing off expensive gifts and luxury moments just to keep up an image, while the real situation back home hasn't changed one bit. That's what Scarface called fake love, not real help. Then she hit even harder, twisting the knife with what might have been the most emotional moment of her whole rant. She said, "So I say again, Gloria, for you to know how we struggled, for you to know how we got neglected, for you to know how we got mistreated, and for you not to reach back and do shit for not one of us." You could hear the pain in her voice. It wasn't just anger, it was heartbreak. This wasn't only about money or fame. It was about being forgotten by someone who once lived that same struggle right beside you. Then Scarface dropped another gut punch. It's been 4 years. 4 years my brother out here doing door dashes. Every word came out sharper, her frustration spilling over. Imagine watching your sister skyrocket to fame for 4 whole years while you're still hustling just to make rent. Meanwhile, your brother's delivering food orders and your sister's collecting 6-figure checks per show. That contrast hit the internet hard. But the part that really got people talking came next. Scarface brought up their artistic brother, and that's when the internet went crazy. She said, You don't even do shit for our artistic brother. I know he didn't do shit to you. We got an artistic brother. You don't even do shit for him." That moment stopped everyone in their tracks. Once she said that, the tone shifted completely. This wasn't just family drama anymore. It touched something deep. Because if there's one thing the public doesn't play about, it's taking care of family, especially someone who truly needs support. That kind of claim, saying GloRilla doesn't help a sibling with special needs, is serious. Allegations like that can wreck someone's image fast. And once that clip hit the net, the streets immediately split down the middle. Some people were siding with Scarface, saying, if your sister's really pulling in millions, why the family still living check to check? Why is mama still working a regular job? And why is the brother still out here doing DoorDash runs? It didn't add up for a lot of folks. But then others jumped in saying, wait a minute, we don't know the full story, because family business can get real messy behind the scenes. Maybe GloRilla did try to help, but it wasn't accepted. Maybe she's been helping quietly without showing it online. Or maybe there's some deep family tension that's been building for years, stuff the public has no clue about. Still, GloRilla wasn't about to sit back and let that narrative run wild. Later that same day, we're talking hours, not days, she clapped back. But instead of going live or dropping a long emotional rant, she came with the one thing that shuts down all rumors: receipts. And in today's social media world, receipts mean everything. GloRilla posted a screenshot that appeared to be a text from her mom, and that's where things really got messy. The message thanked GloRilla for everything she does and said she's always been there for the family. That one message completely flipped the story, because now Mama Woods was low-key contradicting everything Scarface said on that live. So now the situation's deeper than fame or money. It's mama on one side, sister on the other, and a family feud so public it might never heal. That message from Mama Woods made it sound like GloRilla has been helping the whole time, quietly, consistently, and without needing to prove it online. It suggested the support's been real, even if fans never saw it. But that text only made things messier. Now people were split again. Was Scarface lying to get attention? Was Mama Woods just defending GloRilla's image to protect her superstar daughter? Or maybe each family member just had their own idea of what help really means. Then, the very next day, February 5th, GloRilla made her move, and it was brutal. She dropped a link to Indeed.com on her Facebook page, and if you know, you know. Indeed is a job search site, so that was her slick way of saying, go get a job, without even typing a full sentence. That's next level shade, pure cold-blooded energy. That post said it all. She was done talking and ready to move on. But GloRilla wasn't finished just yet. She reshared a post from her older cousin, Lena Harris, who came through swinging in GloRilla's defense. Lena posted screenshots of text showing that GloRilla does check in on her people, asking about family members, offering money when needed, and keeping tabs even while juggling her superstar schedule. Those receipts made it clear. GloRilla hasn't completely turned her back. She's just been handling things privately.
Now you got family members split right down the middle, some backing GloRilla, others standing with Scarface, and the internet's going wild trying to piece together who's telling the truth. It's like everyone's playing detective, trying to solve this family mystery in real time. And just when things couldn't get any hotter, Boosie Boaz jumped in with his take. You already know Boosie never stays quiet when drama hits the culture. Whether it's Lil Nas X, Zaya Wade, R. Kelly, or any other headline-making topic, he always speaks his mind. But when he stepped into this GloRilla situation, the energy shifted completely. He tried to start off sounding neutral, but the second he opened his mouth, the fuse was lit. Boosie hopped online and hit the classic line, "I ain't siding with GloRilla, and I ain't siding with her sister." But you already know how that goes. Anytime someone starts a sentence with, "I'm not taking sides, but," they're about to take a side. Still, he tried to sound like the voice of reason, dropping some real talk about money in the music game that a lot of people don't actually understand. He broke it down plain and simple. Folks think rappers are swimming in money, but the truth is way different. The perception versus reality of hip-hop wealth is straight up wild. Boosie said, "Every artist you think got 50 million ain't got 50 million. Every artist you think got 100 million ain't got 100 million. And he wasn't lying. He kept it all the way real. He explained that when fans hear a rapper signing a $10 million deal, they assume that money's sitting in their bank account, but it's not. That bag gets chopped up between the label, managers, producers, lawyers, and then Uncle Sam swoops in for taxes. By the time the artist gets what's left, it's nowhere near what people imagine. Add in security, travel, clothes, crew expenses, and that celebrity lifestyle starts burning cash fast. Then Boosie hit him with some math that really made people stop and think. He said, if we get everybody, we gonna be broke. If I got $1 million, 7 brothers and sisters, a mom and a dad, and I give each of y'all $100,000, I'm broke. Simple math, but the kind that most people don't ever factor in when they start judging how celebs handle their family money. He was basically laying it out. Even if you've got real paper, trying to take care of your whole family in the extended circle will drain your account fast. You'll go from rich to broke trying to play superhero for everyone around you. Then he doubled down on that point with a line that stuck. If I really look out like you want me to look out, it's gone. That's the hard truth of fame. Everyone expects you to save them once you make it, but nobody sees the pressure that comes with that. On the surface, Boosie's point was solid. He was speaking on the harsh reality of success in hip-hop, the expectation that you gotta support your siblings, parents, cousins, and even people from the block can break you faster than fame ever could. Boosie was basically saying GloRilla might not be rolling in the kind of cash people think she is, and that expecting her to take care of everybody just isn't realistic. He made it clear, the pressure artists face to support their whole family can be impossible to keep up with. But then, he added, we do gotta look out too. But you know what I'm saying? If we get everybody, we gonna be broke. So yeah, he admitted that helping family is part of the game, but there's only so much one person can do before it all falls apart. But then, things took a wild turn, something nobody saw coming. Scarface, GloRilla's sister, saw that Boosie video, and she did not take it lightly. To her, Boosie wasn't being neutral at all. He was taking sides. She felt like he was out here making excuses for GloRilla instead of holding her accountable, and she was ready to let the whole internet know exactly how she felt about that. So she hit Facebook Live again, and what came next had everybody watching with their mouths open. This wasn't just a clapback, this was war. She came in heated from the jump, saying, y'all want the clout to die, y'all gotta stop talking about me for it to die. And honestly, she had a point. Everyone kept accusing her of clout chasing, but those same people were the ones keeping her name trending. Still, Scarface wasn't just talking to random commenters this time. She had targets. And at the top of that list, Boosie. But before going at him, she fired shots at Charlemagne the God in the Breakfast Club, calling him out for covering GloRilla's side of the story but not showing her receipts. She said, y'all gonna put the video with her, putting them in there, but y'all ain't put my receipts on there, and y'all got a big platform, so hell yeah, I got a problem with y'all. Why the hell y'all ain't got no breakfast up there? It's called the Breakfast Club. She was going in on the media, accusing them of being biased, and honestly, she wasn't totally wrong. The Breakfast Club had shared GloRilla's response video, including that text from their mom backing her up, but they didn't give Scarface's side the same energy. To her, that was proof the media only wanted the polished version of the truth, not the messy reality. And just like that, the family feud had turned into a full-blown media war. GloRilla, Scarface, Boosie, and even major outlets caught in the crossfire. That's exactly how media narratives get spun. They show whatever fits one side better and leave out the rest. And once Scarface realized the story was being tilted, she turned her full attention to Boosie. And that's when things went completely off the rails. She went in hard saying, and you got Boosie raccoon-eyed ass talking about some, I'm not on nobody's side, but I'm just saying. You are taking sides, cause basically you saying she ain't got no money, so she ain't trying to give us nothing. You justifying her. She wasn't holding back at all, calling him out for what she saw as fake neutrality. Let's break that down. What she meant was this. By talking about how artists don't have as much money as people think, Boosie was, in her eyes, giving GloRilla an excuse not to help her family. Scarface wasn't trying to hear it. To her, it didn't matter if GloRilla had $100 million or $1 million. Family comes first, period. Then she really started firing shots. She said, "I don't care what y'all think about Boosie. I don't care about his fan base. I don't care about none of that. This man in 2 movies, so guess what? He fell off. Damn, that was a straight-up knockout punch." She was saying that if your movies are on Tubi instead of Netflix or in theaters, you ain't really popping like that. But Scarface wasn't even close to done. She kept going, saying, "It's always the old raccoon-ass tight fade dudes that want to come for me." You could tell she'd been sitting on that one, waiting for the perfect moment to let it out. Then she added, "I don't care who rocks with him. I don't like him anyway." And then she really went for the jugular. "Boosie, you know why I don't like you? Because you don't like Gabe. You don't like Gabe Lil Nas X." That's when the internet lost it. Because right there, Scarface flipped the whole thing from a family beef into a culture war. She brought up Boosie's long history of beefing with Lil Nas X and the controversy surrounding his comments surrounding the LGBTQ+ community. For those who might have missed it, Boosie's made multiple remarks over the years that people called out as homophobic, and Scarface used that to tear into his credibility. She said, "You always talking about a gay guy. If you talking about Nas X promoting gayness, but you promote guns, weed, and women, you a hypocrite. Be 100 across the board." That clip spread like wildfire online. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Suddenly, this wasn't just a messy family dispute anymore. It turned into a full-on culture clash. People were debating everything, from double standards in hip-hop to how Boosie handles public issues. The streets went absolutely crazy, and now Boosie was catching heat from every direction. At this point, it wasn't just about GloRilla or family drama anymore. It turned into a full-blown character war against Boosie. The focus shifted straight to his past controversies, his old comments, and the hypocrisy Scarface was calling out in front of everyone. She basically said, "You worried about gay people existing, but you ain't worried about the violence and drugs you promote. Make it make sense." That line alone had social media on fire.
She doubled down, repeating, "Like I said before, he promote guns, weed, girls, all types of stuff. But the second somebody gay show up, suddenly it's, oh no, the kids don't need to see that." Boys sound like a hypocrite for real. It hit hard because she was calling out the double standards that have always been part of hip-hop culture, where rappers can glorify guns, murder, drugs, and disrespecting women all day. But when LGBTQ+ artists show up, suddenly they're worried about the kids. Scarface wasn't backing down one bit. She was done with the fake moral codes. She wanted the world to see that the outrage Boosie always throws at certain people says more about him than it does about the culture. And that's when people started digging deeper into what was really going on here. This situation had layers on layers. Scarface eventually made it clear this wasn't just about Boosie's comments on GloRilla. She had been holding this smoke for him for a long time. She even admitted it herself, saying, "Ever since he did that stuff with Nas X and towards the gay community, every time it's something gay, he got something to say. I did not like him." She was honest about it. She already had a personal problem with Boosie long before he even mentioned her family. Then she went on to say, "He didn't even go on there bashing me or nothing. But see, I already got disliking for you. So yeah, you can't even sneeze towards this situation, and I'ma say something to you." You could hear the raw emotion in her voice. This wasn't about logic anymore. It was about principle. And that's when folks started realizing this was deeper than social media beef. This was real street politics playing out online. Scarface was using the GloRilla situation as her stage to air out a long-standing grudge with Boosie, and she did it strategically. She turned a family controversy into a platform to call him out publicly on issues that had been brewing for years. That's the thing about internet beef. Sometimes the drama that goes viral ain't even about the headline. It's just the cover story for the real tension underneath. Scarface was playing chess while everyone else was watching checkers, and the internet couldn't look away for a second. Scarface didn't stop with Boosie's opinions. She went straight for his image too. She clowned his age and fashion, saying, "You almost 60 years old and you still dressing like you 15. She was roasting the way older rappers sometimes dress like teenagers, trying to keep up with the new generation. Now, Boosie's actually in his 40s, not 60, but her point still hit hard. He's too grown to be chiming in on her family business like that. Then she twisted the knife even deeper with another jab. Why the hell he on Tubi movies now? Why he on Tubi movies? He ain't on Paramount. That line was cold. She was basically saying his career is falling off so bad that his films only make it to Tubi, a free streaming app, instead of big platforms like Netflix or Paramount. It was straight up disrespectful, but it was also her way of saying Boosie's trying to stay relevant by inserting himself into trending mess instead of focusing on his own legacy. And the internet? Man, the internet exploded. Once Scarface's live went viral, social media split into two major camps, Team GloRilla and Team Scarface. Team GloRilla said Scarface was being messy, ungrateful, and doing too much for attention. They pointed straight to GloRilla's receipts, those texts from their mom and cousin, saying they proved she's been helping the family all along. They called Scarface bitter for airing out private issues online instead of keeping it in the house. But Team Scarface fired back hard. They argued that sometimes you have to go public if private conversations ain't getting through. They said GloRilla's been using the family struggle in her story for years, so now she can't be mad when her sister shares the other side of that story.
Meanwhile, shows like The Breakfast Club and other hip-hop outlets jumped all over the situation. They started covering the drama between Scarface and Boosie non-stop, which is the exact thing Scarface says she didn't want, but also exactly what she knew would happen. She even called out that irony herself, saying, "Y'all want the clout to die? Stop mentioning me." But let's be real, the media lives off conflict, so of course they weren't gonna stop covering it. Every new post, every reaction clip, every shady tweet just kept the fire burning hotter. Scarface also addressed people accusing her of trying to capitalize off the drama, saying she was only getting new bookings because of the controversy. She clapped back fast. "If somebody called me and asked, I'm not calling folks saying, 'Hey man, let me get booked.'" She wanted it clear. She wasn't begging for fame or trying to ride GloRilla's name. She was standing on business and speaking the truth. But by then, the situation had already spiraled out of control. Family beef turned to media chaos, and everyone online had picked a side. By the time the dust started to settle, this whole situation had turned into something way bigger than just a sibling argument. It was a full-on culture storm. Every day, new clips, reactions, and think pieces were popping up, and everyone had an opinion. Some were focused on the family drama, some were defending GloRilla's name, and others were using the chaos to expose the bigger truths about fame, loyalty, and how quickly social media can twist a story. Now here's where it got even crazier. A few days later, fans started digging deeper into GloRilla's old interviews, and that's when people noticed something that reignited the fire all over again. In one clip from last year, GloRilla had talked about cutting off negative energy, saying she doesn't owe anyone anything just because they knew her before fame. That soundbite went viral, and you already know Team Scarface ran with it. They claimed it was proof she'd been distancing herself from family long before any of this drama went public. But Team GloRilla came right back swinging, saying GloRilla's clip was taken out of context. They said people were twisting her words just to feed the narrative that she was heartless, when really she'd been trying to protect her peace and her brand. Meanwhile, Scarface kept posting, refusing to let the hype die down. She shared screenshots of DMs, more emotional posts, and even a few subliminals aimed at GloRilla's inner circle, hinting that people close to her know the truth but scared to speak up. That one line alone had fans and bloggers going crazy, trying to figure out who she was talking about. On the other side, GloRilla stayed mostly quiet. No rants, no extra posts, just a few cryptic captions like "silence louder than lies." Her followers flooded her comments, begging her to respond, but she didn't bite. That silence made her look classy or calculated, depending on which side you were on. Then came another curveball. Boosie himself jumped back online with a smirk, saying, "Y'all still talking about this? I said what I said." He didn't apologize, didn't backtrack, just laughed it off and doubled down on his original point about money and family pressure. That move made things even worse, because now fans saw it as him pouring gas back on the fire. At this point, Blogs were labeling the feud the Memphis Meltdown, and TikTok creators were doing full breakdowns, matching timestamps from everyone's lives to build timelines. The situation had officially left the streets and entered viral legend status. But behind all the jokes and memes, something deeper was brewing. A real conversation about loyalty, image, and expectations. People started asking real questions. How much do artists owe their families once they make it? Is silence the best defense, or does it just make you look guilty? And when the media steps in, does it ever tell the full truth, or just the side that sells clicks? This story wasn't just about GloRilla and a sister anymore. It had become a mirror reflecting how fame twists relationships, how the internet feeds on pain, and how one Facebook Live can turn private pain into a public spectacle overnight.
By the second week of February 2026, the feud had completely taken over the internet. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was a movement. Every major blog, reaction channel, and even gossip podcast were eating it up. People were arguing in the comments like it was a courtroom trial. Team GloRilla versus Team Scarface, each side convinced they had the truth on lock. But just when it seemed like things might cool off, Scarface came back with yet another bombshell. She dropped a post saying, "Y'all keep calling me bitter, but if I'm lying, tell her to show the receipts. Where's the proof of all this help y'all swear she giving?" That single post reignited everything. Within hours, it was screenshotted, reposted, and debated across every platform. Then, out of nowhere, GloRilla's cousin, Lena Harris, jumped back in the mix again, this time going live on Instagram. She was heated. She said, "I can't sit back and let people lie on my family no more. Glo been helping. Y'all just don't see it because it ain't for the cameras." Lena started scrolling through her phone, showing messages of GloRilla paying rent for relatives, sending cash apps, and even covering funeral costs for extended family. The live hit over 40,000 viewers in real time. That's how locked in people were. But even with all that evidence, Team Scarface wasn't backing down. They claimed those texts were old or selective, saying that don't mean she helping now. And just like that, it was back to square one. Accusations versus proof, emotion versus receipts. Meanwhile, Boosie decided to stir the pot again, but this time with style. He posted a clip of himself in a luxury car, wearing designer shades, saying, "They calling me washed up, but I'm still out here shining. Y'all arguing about me, so clearly I still matter." The comments section went wild. Some were clowning him, others were hyping him up, but one thing was clear. Boosie wasn't losing sleep over Scarface's insults. But here's where it got even more interesting. Fans started to notice that GloRilla's music streams were climbing again. Every time the family drama went viral, her old songs started trending on TikTok. Some folks said she was winning by staying silent, while others accused her of letting drama boost her bag. Either way, the controversy was putting her name everywhere. Scarface noticed that too and fired back online, writing, "Ain't it funny how every time we talk about the truth, her numbers go up? Y'all helping her, not me." She was clearly frustrated, realizing that no matter what she said, GloRilla's fame only grew bigger. And that's the irony of it all. The same drama meant to tear GloRilla down was also building her up. Media outlets kept milking every new update, fans kept choosing sides, and the story that started as a private family fight had turned into a non-stop viral saga. By now, it wasn't about who was right or wrong, it was about who could control the narrative. Everyone involved had their own version of truth, and the internet was eaten from every plate. The whole thing had become a case study in modern fame, how one argument can turn into entertainment, how pain becomes clicks, and how staying silent can sometimes speak louder than 1,000 rants. But make no mistake, this feud wasn't over. The streets were whispering that both sisters had more to say, and the next move could change everything.
"They calling me, they in my inbox," Scarface said proudly, letting it be known that the calls and offers were coming to her, not the other way around. She made it clear she wasn't chasing clout or begging for attention. The attention was chasing her, and when people suggested she should turn down the bag, she clapped back hard. Why would she refuse money if people were willing to pay her just to speak her truth? Then she dropped a line that summed up her whole mindset. Like I said, if I didn't spare my blood sister, what the hell I look like sparing y'all? That wasn't just confidence, that was war talk. She was letting the world know that if she could go head-to-head with her own sister, then no celebrity, influencer, or critic stood a chance. Scarface was ready for smoke with anybody, and she meant it. But let's zoom out for a second, because this whole situation speaks to something way bigger than one family's meltdown. It's a reflection of hip-hop culture itself. This story hits so deep because it touches on three major issues that keep coming up again and again. First, there's the age-old question. When you make it out, how much do you owe your family? That debate's been part of hip-hop and black culture since forever. On one side, you've got the lift as you climb mentality, the belief that when you win, your whole family should eat too. That's tradition, that's loyalty, that's legacy. But on the flip side, constantly bailing out family members can stop them from finding their own grind, their own independence. At some point, helping turns into holding back, and that's a tough truth nobody wants to say out loud. Second, there's the media's role in all this. Platforms love to amplify family feuds because it sells. The clicks, the views, the reposts, the arguments. But while the blogs and channels profit, the families involved take the real damage. Trust gets broken, relationships crumble, and what started as private pain turns into public entertainment. The internet moves on, but those people still gotta face each other at the end of the day. And third, the hypocrisy in hip-hop morality. Scarface calling out Boosie for promoting violence and disrespect while condemning LGBTQ+ representation hit a nerve because she wasn't wrong. The culture often turns a blind eye to one kind of negativity while overreacting to another. It's that selective morality that keeps conversations like this alive and uncomfortable. This situation is far from over. Boosie could clap back again. GloRilla might finally break her silence, or more family secrets could spill at any moment. The only thing guaranteed is that when it happens, it's gonna shake the internet again. This saga exposed how messy the intersection of fame, family, money, and morality really is. It showed how loyalty gets tested when success enters the picture, and how the internet loves to turn real pain into trending content. So now, I gotta ask, who do you think is right here? Is GloRilla protecting her peace, or is Scarface just telling the truth no one else will say? Drop your thoughts below, because this story is nowhere near done. And before you dip, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment to keep the conversation going. Trust me, when this drama pops off again, and it will, you're gonna want to be the first to know. Peace out. This your boy, keeping it 100, no cap.